Hi, everybody. Good day. It's Saturday. Um, for me, it's dinner time. For wherever you are, it is a time change based on the fact that I'm in Eastern Daylight Time, and wherever you are, you know what time it is. Wherever you are. I mentioned this morning, but I want to mention it again. I'm so grateful. I know that you know this, and I just feel like it's necessary to remind you that I have not forgotten how important you all are to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other people that love you and care about you. I'm going to have a sip of water. Mm, I can't drink tap water. It's a terrible thing. I do recycle. I know it's hardly um what's the word for it? A good excuse, but you know, for entertainment purposes only YouTube, this reading is completely based on my opinion and my intuition and my empathic feelings, or as I like to call them, the feels, because I'm a Swiftie. But this is all supposition on my part, and none of this is factual until it is. I got lost in that. I hope everyone's had a wonderful Saturday, or maybe you're just having a good Saturday. I don't know. Depends where you are. Could be Sunday, right? Um, I got a bunch of new cards, okay? And I'm going to use this one deck called Apparition, a Spirit Speaks Tarot deck, okay? It fits my hands. Oh my God. The funny part to that is I'm 5 feet. Well, the doctor says I'm 5'1", but I'm 5'2". And that's the way it is. Go fix your measuring thing. That's what happens when you get old. I also have two bulging discs and two herniated discs from an injury I sustained last summer. Wound up in the hospital for 3 days on drugs that only people like Elroy Jetson, apologies to the real Elroy Jetson, and Felon 45, and those of his ilk dabble in. Um, I can see after being in that situation, I can now see how someone could easily become um, committed to having access to that on a daily, hourly, whatever the basis. That would not be me, and I hope that's not you. And if it was you, I hope you have gotten clean. Okay. Um, my questions today come from subscribers. Makes me so happy. Two questions. Will there be a clean election next time? Second question, Jake Tapper's book on Biden. I'm going to start with Jake Tapper's book on Biden. First of all, I have about this much respect for Jake Tapper, and I don't mind saying that I find him to be a tool of corporate media. I don't watch any, quote, network media, to include the cable ones Like the one that starts with C and has two repeating letters, not a chance. The one that starts with MS and has a network three-letter ending, used to be a fan, watched it religiously, no more. And I know that people say, oh, but Rachel, no. Rachel disappointed me long ago when she may have been forced to by corporate media, but she should have walked, because I thought that was her level of ethics. That nobody's going to tell me, Rachel Maddow, how to take apart or, discuss a story. She has plenty of money. She should have walked. So I stopped watching that program. Don't even talk to me about that morning schmo. No, thank you. They $8 million each a year. What do you think they're going to do? Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Jake Tapper and his book that likely will not sell. I have not checked the New York Times bestsellers list. I don't want to check it because I'm afraid that I'll find out something I just simply don't need to know. Okay. I call on white light protection for myself and my community. I ask that the Creator be with me as I attempt to access the Akashic Records. I place a barrier, a bubble of white light around me and around those that watch me and around the people that I love, to include Joe Biden and his entire family, the Obamas. I'm a pretty inclusive kind of person. And with that, I say amen. Or amen. Amen. That's how I say it. I don't say it that often. Only in prayer. Daily. Okay. Jake Tapper. What's the scoop with you, dude? All right. Let's do a Celtic cross on Jake Tapper of, am I wrong, ABC News? I think I'm right. Seven of Wands. Internal battles. Battle. Struggling. She's being held up, almost suspended, but not like the hangman, by that rope, I guess you'd say. What crosses the signifier card is the Eight of Swords. This is being, the Eight of Swords would be, in this particular card, I feel like this person feels trapped. It crosses that. What crowns the reading? The Knight of Cups. Youngish person. High emotion. What is in the past? The Ace of Cups. Abundance. Emotion. Lots of fruit, and I could eat all of it because I am a fruitaholic. Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, this is a really nice card. The Queen of Wands is a strong, powerful queen, bringing in messages. She's kind and generous, but she's got something to say. That's the wand, and I don't know if it's documented or just something that she wants to say. And that's the little cat that in the Rider-Waite sits by her feet. That is what is below the reading. The future card, the moon. The moon is a card where things are hidden. And you see all the doors? Things are hidden behind the doors. Interestingly enough, notice this blob of darkness. I have no idea what that represents, but this moon is cut out of this. But this is doors that are shut, things hidden behind the doors, and that's in the future. I think I'm coming down with something, which is no bueno. Anyway, sorry about that. Next set of cards go up the side. 9 of Wands, Strength, the High Priestess, and the 5 of Wands. Okay. All right, we're going to stop right here. Let's interpret these. So we start out with the 7 of Wands. This is a card of serious information coming through. The person with the wings on her, let's call her the angel, is being hung out to dry. The red below, I'm assuming that's blood, because these are knives. So the 7 of Wands is crossed by the 8 of Swords. Another card of, I guess I want to call it restriction. Swords are typically about the law, medicine, legal matters, cuts like a knife. That's what's crossing this. Jake, you're in trouble, dude. In the past, the Ace of Cups, abundance and, cup overflowing. This is the overflow, okay? As I see it. And all the fruit that I could possibly want. Oh my gosh. What crowns the reading is the Knight of Cups, a more youthful set of people or person. A knight is sort of the protector of the realm. And I don't mean that realm. I mean, a protector. And the cup is representative of emotion. So that's what crowns the reading. Perhaps he was excited about this. What is beneath the reading, below the reading, is the Queen of Wands. And as I mentioned before, this is a very kindly queen. The cat represents luck, not the other way around. And the queen is right here. In the future is the moon. Something is hidden. What a big surprise. Behind those doors. Next we have the Nine of Wands. This is a card of... Well, it looks like she's praying, doesn't it? So in this deck, I'm looking at a person who's hoping for the best. The Nine of Wands, nearly a completion card. This deck came with no, like manual or whatever. Anyway, I don't have one with me. But as I see this card, wands are typically about movement. They are about information coming in. And this person, when you look closely, or this entity, is praying. The next card is strength. Maybe we think of Jake Tapper as a strong journalist. Yeah. Yeah. The High Priestess. She's got something going on. She's kind. She's got information. She's reaching in for her mirror to see her reflection. Maybe she thinks maybe there's a mistake made, Jake. Well, I know there's been a mistake. And then the Five of Wands. 5 cards are basically stop, halt, hold. They are cards typically of losing things, money. This is not a happy card. And of course, they are shooting, essentially, wands. So there's all kinds of information coming out. None of it good. I pulled 2 extra cards. You won't believe it. I don't believe it, but I believe it. The Tower and the Devil. Pulled them right after these. The Tower card. This is a very, very interesting, manifestation of the card. The Tower card is things falling apart. In a lot of decks, you see a tower with the top falling off of it. In this deck, you don't see it quite that way, but there's a match being lit on the tower, and you see the ruins over here. Why in a frame? I don't know. The Devil. Must I explain that? Now, I want to... He's not going to do well with this book. I promise you that. He may sell some of these books, I'm sure. But it's pretty sleazy, in my view, of him to publish a book right as that story breaks. That is opportunistic, obnoxious, whether it was his decision or the publishers. I blame him. He could have stopped that. He could have put a stop to that. He's got that kind of cachet. If he said, don't put it out yet, they wouldn't have put it out yet. But they thought they'd capitalize on the fact that we just found out that my beloved Joe Biden has cancer. once again. Um, he's not going to do well with this book. Like I said, he may sell some of them. I like these cards. I wish it had a little manual because, like I've said, and others have said, I thought it was me. I thought that was my excuse for not knowing the answer. But when they come with a little like informational booklet or something, like Lena's deck, One World Tarot, which is brilliant. I should have pulled that one today. But when they come like that, they always come with a book because every deck has the vibe of the creator of the deck, not the creator of the world. So the deck, in one deck, a card can mean something, and in another deck, that same card does not mean that. So it's not a universal, once you learn it, then you learn it. I wish that was the case. I never thought I would get to the point of remembering all of these cards and like the meanings of them. And then there's some that I'm still, unsure, I guess the word would be, on them. However, a booklet would be handy, even if it was a little booklet, because I want to know what the author meant by this. Made in Joshua Tree, California. That makes me even happier. I used to live not far from Joshua Tree in the desert. I loved it there. I didn't appreciate it as much as I would today because I was much younger. I was like 40. But having said that, I'm just saying that one more shuffle. I'm being guided to do one more. Now, I'm going to do a very brief spread on how my beloved Joe Biden is doing and how he's feeling. I'm doing 5, maybe 3 cards, maybe 5. I'll have to see. Okay, I did 4. First card out is the Hermit, going within to consider all your options. That's what most cancer patients do. They meet with a team of doctors and healthcare providers in that arena, if you will, of cancer, whatever their cancer is, and they discuss treatment options and outcomes, and everybody contributes to that conversation. The patient is in the room for this, or in the conference room, basically. So he's going within to consider his options. Page of Wands, this is a young person coming forward with information. Could be a doctor, I don't know. But he's a younger person, he's a page. And the wand is info. The next card is the Hierophant. This is a card of governmental authorities, and I don't mean like Felon 45. I mean like the branches of government, the courts, the law, the library. I mean, parts of the government. Things that are part of the government. Now that does remind me of a pope, but that's not what I feel when I'm reading this. The final card that I'm going to pull for my beloved Joe Biden is the Magician, the good manifestation, manifesting health, because health is wealth. You know that, right? All of the suits, if you will, the cups, the sword, the wands, the pentacles are all represented here, right? And the magician is manifesting a most benevolent outcome, a wonderful outcome. And that is what I'm manifesting for him as well. I don't feel the need to add another card. I really don't. Sometimes I tend to doubt myself and overread. And could I be wrong on some things? Yes, of course. However, I'd rather be wrong than go crazy myself, which I would, because I do. We haven't used the... And when I'm talking about a book, I'm talking about something that comes like this. This deck is called Visions in the Liminal Space. It's within the body. And the shadows fly away. What does it say on this side again? Until the day breaks and the shadows fly away. Okay. I do like these cards. They talk to me a lot. I haven't brought them out in a really long time. Well, for me, when you're recording 2 videos a day, you know what I mean. Let's begin with just a few pulls here. Not many. Tag, you're it. It's your turn. Everybody stand up and do what is right for your country. It's your turn. Tag, you're it. The Hell Train. That's what we're on now. We're on the Hell Train. Felon 45 and his Hell Train. Beware of nostalgia. You know that card in the Rider-Waite that talks about the past and happy times and the children and all that. This is kind of a similar and opposite intent. Beware of nostalgia. And nostalgia looks like poison. You know that sign for poison? But they're in barrels. You see that? Wow. I don't think I've ever pulled that card from this deck. Fortune's favor. The bold. That's us. That's people willing to stand up. It's a Fortune's favor. It's a Linda Grendel word. It's a very good card. Yes, they have tried to do that. I refuse to participate. In fact, I've got 3 little nieces, 2, 4, and 6. The 2 is going to be 3 in January. Anyway, Sparkle Sparkle, you know who? I'll take credit for that one. Anyway, I talk to them a lot. I know they don't understand me yet about some things. The 6-year-old does. She asked me the other day, what is God? What's God? Because I think I said, oh my God, or something like that. Please forgive me. No disrespect intended. But when she asked me that, it was like, can't you just ask the normal where babies come from? What is God? What's God? Sometimes you don't want to give too much info, right? So I basically said to her, well, let me tell you what I think. It's kind of different for everybody. But for me, God is an energy sitting in I will use the word heaven because she understands that, because the Rainbow Bridge and a dog passed and some, she understands that. She's heard those words and that has meaning to her. I said, so it is a source of energy in heaven that answers everybody's prayers on earth. So if you ask God for something, and I said, and this is not about more toys or something else, something serious. If you ask God to make your cold go away or help you get better or healthier, whatever, those are the kinds of things you would ask. You wouldn't be asking God for toys. You ask Santa for toys, right? And I said, does that kind of answer your question? Yeah. I was like, whoa. Next time, go easy on me. Ask me where stars come from or something. Anyway, Spirit's here. Spirit is giving me lots of hugs. That's what these are. These are hugs from the divine, from the Creator. And I have such chills. It's a good thing I'm wearing this top. Spirit, I want to ask you a couple questions. Is Joe Biden doing well? Yes. For those who may be new, when the wands cross over either once or in sequence, that's a yes. And I am not moving these wands. This is the energy of the Creator. You may call it God or Jesus or Moses or Allah or Buddha or things that I'm not even, entities that I don't know about. I call that the one force, the one source. Remember, may the force be with you? George Lucas, he's plugged in. That was in the 70s. In fact, it was 1977. Don't ask me why I remember that, but I do. Star Wars, the first edition of the entire saga. I've seen every single one, prequels, sequels, etc., at least 5 times each. I have favorites. I was very upset when Han Solo died. That was Harrison Ford's request, that he would come back for that episode if they would let him be written out. Okay. All right. Spirit. So Joe is doing well, yes? Yes. Jake Tapper wrote a book. Mr. Opportunistic Wannabe Journalist wrote a book about Joe. I don't know what the book says. I don't really give a fiddler's F-bomb. However, I'm just saying, the book, will it sell well? No, I'm going no further. For entertainment purposes only, YouTube. Okay, my beloved community. I go to sleep at night praying for you, and I wake up in the morning and go, I gotta get dressed. I gotta put on my makeup, and I have to at least look somewhat decent because my people, you're my people. Anyway, I wish you a beautiful evening, the rest of the evening, wherever you are, morning or day, wherever you are. And I am so gratified that you are watching my channel. If you are watching my channel, you will hear this. And um, I wish you love, light, and peace.